Good day, everybody. Another stream, another day, another dollar. Let's hope everything works out just fine. Here we are. Hello. Good day. All right. So today is another market analysis. While I'm here, why don't we do this 2:30 my time, because I take amphetamine and all that fun stuff to keep me up for many months at a time. And what we're going to cover is today market analysis on a global level. Now, before I get started, I'll showcase something that you may not be aware of. A lot of the software I use is MotiveWave, okay? And this is what I'm about to show you. If you've seen a lot of charts similar to this, is using MotiveWave, the trading platform. I want to let you know, at motivewave.com, they have a 30% sale on right now. If you want to get in on it, just jump on it. It's not very many times a year. 30% is a pretty steep discount for them. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, get in on it. All right, so let's get on over to our MotiveWave. All right, so as you know, I do the usual scanning, harmonic scans to be exact. And we're going to go through them, talk about them, add some fun commentary to see what is being said. Okay, let me just get something here. Just need to verify. All good. Okay. Alrighty. Always help. I'm still new at this streaming fun stuff. Alright, so let's get into MotiveWave. Yay. Okay, enough blabbing. Alright, so we got harmonic scans. Anything over the little point D is where we want to see higher than a current price for it to be a long. Okay, so I'm going to go through this. This reveals where hot capital flow goes. I just talked about my previous video called Gold Collapsing China Bond Default with Market Collapse. So we're going to go through this. I did this morning, like 12, 13 hours ago. This one's been steady, pretty good. Australia, New Zealand, very strong pairs. And it's an opportunity. This is a classic long in here. We also had some good news come out. Here it was a pop. It was a temporary pop with British pound and the good old Brexit news that was positive between Europe and the British government. They may have been working on something. So everything British went up, pound and all. And here we are. It's now got a short. So from there, we move on to one of the safest safe havens. It's all about safe havens in this. Is basically the U.S. dollar with the Swiss franc. One thing to take away from this process is not a lot of interest in U.S. based. Well, specifically U.S. dollar. It's been tanking. I did read last week it's at an 8-month low. So there's not a lot of interest in U.S. anything right now. Stock market or U.S. dollar. I mean, the Treasury's up for obvious reasons, but we'll get into that when we see it. So the next one is gold. Now this is a very interesting trade that's shaping up. Gold right now is short. I've just covered it. There's a potential collapse coming in gold price for a variety of reasons. You can watch that video I mentioned earlier. But the funny thing is there's two currencies that are trading quite well. Is gold in Canada and gold in Swiss franc. So you can see here we have two longs. And the funny thing is that it goes to show that there is interest in both these currencies, and obviously holding gold as a hard asset, as a defense or a hedge in the two currencies of both Swiss franc and Canadian dollar. With Swiss franc, we can sit here and say, yes, for sure, the Swiss franc is definitely a safe haven trade. You trade it, you could probably do okay with that. The Canadian dollar is still questionable, but so far it's been doing pretty good, where it's been a safe haven with longs. And if I look at the performance here, It has been dropping, but you can see here there is, dare I say, a positive bar here. But overall, gold is in trouble. A lot of bad news. Just looking at that Keiko article, if I was to do a refresh on it, the site's crashed. It's that sort of story that spooked people about gold and not hold it. There's also been some rumors that I've heard through my Facebook programming group. Some people are saying that gold is manipulated. Okay, so let's look at gold in euro. So we have a long there. We also have a long in the British pound. And we have more longs lining up with Singapore and Hong Kong. This is a temporary long, I think. The only one that may be long term, if anything, for a long is the gold in Swiss franc. And I can tell that by there's two of them here. So moving on from there, we have here this one I like. This one could be a really good one to have as a gold silver ratio. Now again, this is Awanda data. This is CFD data. So I'm just going to say I kind of take heed on this kind of asset class. It was banned in the US for a reason, but I do like using the data. If you can find something that's a little more has a little bit of certainty, yeah, gold silver is a good one to have. Again, we go back to longs for Australian dollar. We have another long for the Canadian dollar, another one for the euro. Oh, what do I see? I see a short. I see another long for British pound, another one for the British pound. So this shows if you want to use, in this day and age where we are right now, you can use gold in whatever currency to see how it's performing. If you see a long on it, chances are you can expect the currency it's in to go up. So again, we got some shorts here. Hong Kong dollar shorten, Singapore shorten. So for a while, what I can say here is I don't know what's going on in Asia, but there's been some shorts going on like crazy. This one's always been looking good. This is another one, Australia, New Zealand. I'm pretty safe about this one as a long. Same with anything in Swiss franc. So far, so good. But just remember, the Swiss franc is, as you can see there's not a lot of on-ramp space for the long to take place. So take heed there. This one I've never seen yet is the Turkish Lira. It's been pounded all year. It looks like it's coming back when you look at this. So this may be an interesting long, and it's showing some certainty there that it may actually start to move. As I said earlier, the bonds from both the UK and the US are starting to look okay. And obviously that's one of the safe havens. The Swiss franc, you would hope to see the Japanese yen here as well. But we do see the UK 10-year, the 30-year, the 2-year, they're all longs here, 5-year and 10-year. So that's pretty well going to be an okay place to hide out in. We also come back to good old the Swiss franc. And funny enough, we have another Turkish lira. Very interesting, it's starting to move. So be on the lookout for that. Again, I don't know why, but there it is. Wheat, agriculture. When you start to see agriculture under the excellent score that shows any form of long, that just shows you there's not a lot of places to hide out in. Money needs to go somewhere. And wheat in US dollar is kind of a long. Corn, there's a short here. But it's interesting to see that these are out there. Swiss franc, as I said, in Hong Kong dollar, I don't know why these shorts are popping up in Asia. Same with Swiss franc and the Japanese yen. Here is another interesting one: is the British pound and the Canadian dollar, a short. And again, we get our third long now with the Australian New Zealand. So that's a safe one for sure. Again, we got a short now on the UK 100 markets, the FTSE basically. And then we have New Zealand looks good for the British pound. We got short here in Australia. So I wouldn't look at that one. This one I've been tracking. This one's looking okay. It's been holding its own, the US dollar against the Canadian. That's an oil trade, so it depends where oil goes. USD, Japanese yen, it's looking good. So again, got a little big bar. If you asked me earlier, this was not looking good, but looks like it's turning around. But if it's in the Turkish Lira, there's more confirmation there as well. And then again, I've seen this quite a bit. Not as strong as you want, because we're now moving into the very good. It's not that convincing. Is US dollar and Swedish krone. More XAU, gold, euro, long, gold in Singapore, gold, a short in gold. So what I was talking about earlier with Canadian dollar, when you start seeing shorts here as well, it becomes a washout. So be very, very aware of all that. Gold, silver. Okay, sorry, that was silver and Canadian, not gold. So that's a short there, short in Japanese yen. Okay. Again, this is another big convincing trade here. Australia against New Zealand. That could be a good one over the next little while. That's the second day I've seen it since last night. Euro Canadian, Euro DKK, Denmark, no. This one's very interesting. It is legging up. Is Euro in Hungary. That's looking good. This is a long, again, with a Swedish, but it's not, there are long calls for it, it's just not performing. So, doesn't really excite me as I'd like to have. Again, with the Asian, but this is Hong Kong and Japanese yen, so maybe the Japanese yen is potentially starting to bottom out and starting to move up now, finally, as things start to seem to get worse. Again, very good for Canadian, Singapore. It's starting to move up. And remember, these are all 4-hour charts, right? Again, a long, this has been doing pretty good lately. British pound in Singapore. This one, obviously, it's holding its own. This is the UK 100, but again, another short. Again, we're moving into slim pickings here. British against the Australian. That's a short. This one is the one to really watch. Is the USD and China yuan. You can see here it may start to reverse. Starting to build a little base there in the last few hours. Who knows? And this one is again another surprise. Is USD in Hungary as well. USD again flatlining here, but it really depends on the oil price. USD Canadian, that is. USD Denmark. This one doesn't really excite me. It does have a long for it. Again, we have a second call again now for USD Japanese yen. So one thing you need to remember, it's not a top pick, but it is showing signs of reversing in Japanese yen. This one I've seen before as well. This is a UK and Mexico peso. This one's never been out there to stay out there long enough to say, yeah, I would recommend it. More USD Swedish, but again, just not performing like I'd like to see it. Along for the Singapore dollar, again, doesn't really show anything. This one is something of interest. Again, I mentioned that the commodities, sugar, just all the way back to September, it's been nothing but moving up. But now it's starting to come off where it might start to show shorts. This is a really interesting one to watch. It's sugar in US dollar. CHF in Japanese yen, we got short. I could go on and on about it. Again, pound against the New Zealand. New Zealand's looking decent, but here you can see it's not doing so well in the last few hours. Poland doesn't really excite me. British pound and Poland. Now here's two that I thought I've seen the last few days is British pound and South African rand. You know, it's there, but it's just not performing. So again, I don't know, put it on your Christmas tree for decorations kind of thing. And two more very good. New Zealand, Japanese yen, a short there. Singapore and Hong Kong, another short. That's pretty well it. So I just want to say thanks for watching. You can see it's all nothing but currencies. If you want my opinion to watch for, you got treasuries, as well as the Swiss franc, namely USD and CHF. I would probably stay away from gold. Gold is really unpredictable. Watch that prior video I just put up last few minutes. Same with silver. the short calls on that. The only real place to go right now that's confirmed, well, actually two places, really with a solid yes. Australia, New Zealand, USD CHF's looking pretty good too. And the only other one I would look at is if you don't mind putting money into the Treasury, do that as well. They've been up there, and everything else. The one to watch, I'd definitely be watching the USD Japanese yen with this reversal. It may go back down. I can't say, obviously, but it's something interesting to watch. And that's pretty well it. So I'll end it there. I don't see any comments. And thanks for watching. As I said, have a good day.